Brittany Corso, informative speech. Everyone has something that they dream of becoming when they grow up, whether it be a fireman, a policeman, a professional athlete, a celebrity. Whatever it is, there's always something that a child dreams of pursuing when they grow up. For me, weirdly enough, that dream was to become an astronaut. I can't tell you exactly what propelled me to want to become an astronaut, but there was something that fascinated me about being launched into outer space. Although I wanted to become an astronaut, I wasn't really sure of all the requirements and testing that went into actually pursuing this career. In terms of applying to become an astronaut, there are a bunch of requirements that you need to fulfill. According to an article published by the official NASA website, updated in 2011, there are 4 basic requirements needed to fulfill the application process. The first one being you have to be a citizen of the United States. The second one being that you have to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution in the fields of mathematics, science, physical science, or engineering. The third one is that you have to have completed at least 1,000 hours of pilot in command in jet aircraft. And then the fourth is that you have to have 20/20 vision in each eye, a blood pressure not exceeding 140/90, and then a height between 62 and 75 inches. So once you're cleared for these 4 basic requirements, you then move on to the interview process. And in an article published by PBS entitled Astronaut Training, PBS explains why the interview process is so crucial, because many of the candidates, or the majority of the candidates, meet these basic requirements, so that's why the interviews are so important, because they really set apart each individual candidate. So if the candidate passes the basic requirements and the interview process, they then get elected for the astronaut candidate program, which is a 2-year-long testing and training period. It's both psychological and physical testing. So in terms of physical tests that they have to undergo during this program, the first one is a military water survival test, in which they have to swim 3 lengths of a 25-meter-long pool without stopping. And the second is a microgravity test of weightlessness, in which an aircraft simulator producing periods of weightlessness for 20 seconds and returns to original altitude, and this just better prepares their bodies for their flight to space. In a 2013 interview, Imagination Station interview with astronaut Mike Good, Good explains why it's so important to be in top physical shape when preparing for your flight, because spacewalks can be anywhere up to 8 hours long, so that's very physically exerting on the body. In terms of psychological testing, the first psychological test that NASA does for the candidates is the claustrophobia test, and in an 2013 NPR interview with astronaut Chris Hadfield, he kind of explains this claustrophobia test, in which they zip you up inside of what he explains is like a tiny ball with barely any air or light, and they don't tell you how long they're going to leave you in there for. And this is just a way for NASA to better grasp who's scared or afraid of small enclosed spaces. And then the second psychological test is a test of reasoning, memory, and concentration, and as well as personality tests. In a 2009 European Space Agency article, they explain why personality tests are so crucial, because it's so important for the astronauts to be gregarious and empathetic, because they're going to be a part of a space crew or a space team when they travel to space, so they need to be able to get along and be flexible with all the other people that they're living with. And also flights to space can be anywhere from months to long extended periods of time, so it's very important for them to be able to get along with the other astronauts. So the possible outcomes of this astronaut candidate program is that you either pass or you fail. So if you pass, then you're automatically offered a position as a federal employee and you get to travel to space. And if you fail, the outcome isn't all that bad. You still could be afforded a position at NASA, but just in a different department, and you don't actually get to travel to space. So although today I no longer dream of becoming an astronaut, I still have a lot of admiration for those who do, because it's a long and tiring process. So no matter what you dream of becoming, I think it's still important to hold the same mentality as astronaut Paul Brandt, who once said, "Don't tell me that the sky's the limit when there are footprints on the moon."